Yeah, Babylon is falling to rise no more. Babylon is falling to rise no more. Falling to rise no more. To rise no more. I'm taking a look in the streets. It's really every day what I see. We constantly searching for peace. My people just wanna be free. We tired of the cell blocks and the bullshit. That lying nigga in the pulpit. Same shit, but a different day. I speak truth, they ain't come to play. You in the way, better move, nigga. That follow no way gon' be cool, nigga. Say you're gonna get that tool, nigga. Matter of fact, get you by two, nigga. You see the sign that's in front of you? That's in the rough from up under you. Shit is gonna fall, yeah, I promise you. Make up your mind what you gonna do. You heard it? Now listen. Your life, my business. You are my brother. We need each other. This truth, I live it. I will defend it. You are my brother. You are my brother. Yeah. Babylon is falling to rise no more. Babylon is falling to rise no more. To rise no more. Falling to rise no more. Hey, my brother. Get your hands up, it's a war now. Take a good look at this world. It's time to go hard, don't be scared now. I know you're feeling the stress. Look on your face, yeah, and I need some help. But we made it happen with less. You in my blood, I feel what you felt. Destruction in every corner. Every day I feel like a loner. Keeping the faith, that is my armor. This is a test, but nothing can harm you. Don't be scared of truth when you hear it. Don't compromise your spirit. Don't be trying to live like these white folks. Don't be trying to chill with these white folks. Brotherhood is a weapon, and that's the shit that I stand for. If you keep the law and live it, now you a nigga I'll stand for. Got no time for that fake shit. That shit I can't stand, bro. Still believe in that flag. So what the hell do you stand for? Yeah. Babylon is falling to rise no more. Babylon is falling to rise no more. To rise no more. Falling to rise no more. Slovakia. Hey, shalom, Israel. First of all, I'd like to say Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatham to all my brothers, Yahweh Shema Lathan Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai to all my sisters. I'm priest and officer Yaquam of the ISUPK. You understand? ISUPK started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York in 1969. And since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics
that we are indeed the children of Israel, the children of God. You understand? The 12 tribes of the lost sheep of the house of Israel, who Christ said he died for. This is our Wednesday night law class. You understand? And I'm going to be doing this until further notice. So the law class will be on me. So we're going to go into the promises or a dream. You understand? And this in the spirit, because all week, all I hear is the brothers going into this so-called, well, not so-called, but this election, the candidates of the election, the way that our people, Israelites, are foolishly choosing one of the other candidates. You understand? Setting their heart on this place. All the brothers have been going in on it, so must be the will of the Lord. I know it's the will of the Lord, because ISUPK is the home of the truth. And before I get started, I want to send a shout out to everybody in the class. We got Nazim Anah, just starting paint, Shemaiah Ba, Trooper Gabar, Shalom, Yahabashim Yasharatha, Zakawakaya, Salakia, I'm butchering your name. Salakia for that, Sister Shapara. Trooper Gabar, if you can, jump in, man, with me. Read with me. Read for me if you could. Yeah, but again, the promises or a dream. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show two short videos. One is like a 3-minute long video of the American dream. You understand? And the other one is a MLK video concerning the American dream. And we're going to get into some of the scriptures. You understand? It tells where the Lord tells us what to do and what not to do, how we ought to be. For the Lord said, Israel, you so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics are a special people unto him. The Lord chose you above all people upon the face of the earth. And we need to understand that and remember that. You know, our so-called leaders have misled us. Even up until now, from the time of coming out of slavery, up until now, our leaders have misled us. You understand? And it got even more the worse about the 50s and the 60s when they started pushing civil rights on us. But we didn't need civil rights, and we didn't need to be equal to anybody. But the Lord said that he set us on high above all nations of the earth if we would indeed keep his commandments. Now, after the punishment that we had suffered, after the slavery that we had been suffered, after the Jim Crow, after the black laws, the black codes, after all these things that we had been suffered, it was time for us to come out of that. But our people chose to cleave unto their enemy. And the Bible indeed does say that the oppressor that put us in captivity is our enemy. Always has been, always will be. You understand? The church has gotten our people mixed up, not understanding who their enemy is. You understand? When Christ spoke about love your enemy, do good to those who curse you, he's talking about your own people so that you can build the relationships that are needed to sustain a nation that the Lord loved. The Lord brought us out of Egypt because he wanted to set us in our own nation and set us on high above other nations, that we would reign in the earth, that we would lead this earth, that we would rule in this earth and have dominion in this earth. Now, Salakia, I'm not the best tech savvy brother, so y'all gonna have to bear with me concerning these videos I'm about to pull up. But if you could, just bear with me for a minute. I'm gonna go to pull them up, and then we're gonna get into it. So bear with me. All right. Let's see. Okay. Am I sounding too wild? Can you put a 1 in the chat if anybody's in there? Put a 1 in the chat. Let me know that you can hear me. Yeah, that one wouldn't want to show up. Let's see where it is. Bear with me for a second. One West. The water, Nazmana. Yeah, I got to get better with this. Bear with me for a second. I might have to type it in. There we go. Hold up, Salaki. All right, let me share it right quick. All right. Now this video is a little older. I think it's like 15 years old. And since everybody's been going in on Kamala Harris and her pulling up Megan Thee Stallion, the twerk, her pulling out the hot sauce, all the modern stuff, I decided to go back and pull up a video that was substantial in telling us what people believe the American dream is. Again, it's only 3 minutes long. So this is for educational purposes only. You understand? So hopefully they don't clip our video. You understand? Again, free use. And this is for educational purposes only. Let's get into it.
No matter what your background is, what country you're from, what income background you're from, no matter what, you can be anything you want to be. And for the most part, I think that's true. As long as you work hard enough in this country, I think you can get where you need to be.
The economy may be tanking, but of course.
So that's the first thing. The man said, as long as you work hard in this country, you can be whatever you want to be. You can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Just be a hard worker. Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Nobody knows better than so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics that that's not true, because nobody works harder than so-called Native American, Hispanics, and blacks. Nobody works harder than us. You understand? And we not on some diatribe feeling sorry for ourselves. We understand why the Lord put us in this predicament. But nobody works harder than us. Nobody greater than us. We built this country. You understand? The Lord said over there in Exodus that we built Pharaoh's treasured cities. You ever seen New York at night, Chicago at night, Houston at night? The brilliant lights and how magnificent these cities look? Well, who you think built them and maintains them? It certainly wasn't the one who oppresses people. So the so-called white man did not build his own treasure cities. You understand? So the first thing the man said, if you work really, really hard, well, let's see what the Lord said about that. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 right quick. And we're just going to break this video down. Again, this video is for educational purposes only. So let's get over here and see what the Lord said. Since the man said, if you work really, really hard and with a little luck, you can be successful in America. This is what the Lord said. This is how so-called blacks, Native and Americans and Hispanics will be successful. We cannot be successful following the program of other people. Which first, I might as well quote that. I'm not going to go get it. But the Lord said He showeth his word unto Jacob, his laws and his statutes unto Israel. He has not dealt so with any other nation or nationality. And as for his judgments, how to rule this earth, they have not known them. So this is what the Lord told us when he brought us out of Egypt. And it shall, this is Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Listen, he said diligently, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. You know what, Israel? It's not a bad thing that we're repetitious with these scriptures right here. Never take for granted that you know these scriptures right here and have heard these scriptures. You understand? Because your brothers in the world have not heard these scriptures. Your brothers and sisters in church do not know these scriptures. So never take for granted these scriptures. The Lord said, if you keep my commandments, and in another place he said, and my commandments are not grievous. Why? Because they show you how to run a nation. They show you how to rule the world. Why do you think the so-called small hat, so-called Jewish man can use part of your scriptures and maintain and run this whole earth? And when I say run it into the ground, run it wickedly, have authority, get billions of dollars from this country here, which we know as Babylon, which is fallen, as the introductory song had said. You understand? So the Lord said that we would observe to do his commandments. He'll set us on high. Verse 2, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord, thy Lord God, diligently. We're focusing on what the Lord promised us, not the dream. We're going to get into the dream, but we focus on what the Lord said. The Lord said all these blessings will overtake us. Verse 3, blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. So instead of you walking the earth as princess, like Daniel the 7th chapter says, 7, 9, and 10, you will be on the horse. And the one that's on the horse now, the one in authority and leadership now, he would be walking the earth. He will be working. He will be doing manual labor. He will be building up your walls. This is Bible. And this is what the Christian church does not understand, though they have the book. They don't understand about building a nation of people. See, America has fooled us into believing that America itself is a nation, when it's all kinds of nationalities here. A nation is a nationality of people, is one nationality. So-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics are the same people. And that's another topic for later. I know some people, I can't, well, ignorance, because we full of colorism, and they have divided us, divide and conquer. We are the only people that get no respect from the other nations, to the point to where, like Captain Kahan was saying yesterday, it's insulting. You understand? It's insulting for other nationalities to play on your nation, to use your nation at will, and to throw it away when they get ready to. You understand? To have your sisters come up during a national convention and twerk. They would never do that to their own nation. You understand? Let's get back into what the Lord said. Verse 4, blessed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy ground. The fruit of thy body is your children. You would never have to worry about an abortion clinic if you did what thus said the Lord. You understand? You would never have to worry about your children being miseducated or undereducated. You understand? To build somebody else's empire. You would never have to worry about your children perishing in the streets at the age of 17 years old, hanging out on the street corners as a bull in the net being caught, only to feel the penal system, the penitentiaries. You understand? So much so that they have even made that into a privatized industry. Yeah, prison is a privatized industry. The scriptures, the Lord said, blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, if we would keep his commandments and do what he said. But pastors won't teach this. You understand? Our people will rather vote because the pastor don't teach them about God's laws. We don't need to vote for somebody that's going to make laws. God gave us laws from the heavens. If you can understand that. The rest of verse 4, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thine kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Black man, Native American man, Hispanic man, where your cattle at? I'm not talking about one or two of our cousins that may own 99 headed cattle. I'm not talking about that. Why aren't you the major producers for this world? Why are some other people the major producers of produce and cattle instead of you, black man, Native American man, and Hispanic man? I would interrupt this to show. If you ever get time, Google bison skulls, mountain of bison skulls, where I believe it's a picture from the 1800s, where they had a mountain of bison skulls or buffalo skulls in order to deter our Native American brothers and sisters from living off the land, from their way of life. Devious, man, wicked people. But why do we suffer such things? Because we are not taught to keep God's laws. You understand? Let's keep reading. Verse 5, blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. You don't have to worry about being broke. You don't have to worry about putting your money into somebody's 401k and Bernie Madoff ripping you off. You don't have to worry about putting your money in Chase Bank and Chase treating you the way they treated Kanye. They just stripped Kanye of billions in what? 2 days? Billions. You understand? If we were following the Lord's laws and the Lord set us on high, nobody could take anything from us. Let me keep reading. We're going to read a few of these and then we're going to continue on with this video. The Lord said, blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. That's everywhere. In your own land, even out of your own land. Nobody would dare to intimidate or touch you. You understand? Verse 7, the Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. Nobody could stand against you if the Lord is for you. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses and in all that thou settest thy hand unto. And he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. All that you set your hands to, meaning nobody would take your inventions anymore and do what they will with them and put their own names and patents on them and give you some change or put you in the corner somewhere or just straight up take it from you. That would never happen if we would keep God's commandments. And the Lord told us, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. Gather yourselves together before that great and terrible day. Zephaniah 2:1 through 2 and 2 and 3. You understand? Let me keep reading a couple more. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and all that thou settest thy hand to do. Oh, let me jump down to verse 9. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, set apart, separate unto himself, not with everybody, because the Lord does not love everybody. The Lord didn't choose everybody. The Lord didn't choose everybody. Unto himself, as he has sworn unto thee, and thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his ways. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. You understand? The Lord said the nations would be afraid of you. Black man, Native American man, Hispanic man, tell me who's afraid of you right now. Nobody, because you're subdued. You're subdued, man. To the point we don't have anything. We really don't even have a vote. Trick to vote. The Lord didn't tell us to vote. The Lord gave us a king that died for us, that gave his life for us. You understand? Verse 12, the Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto the land, thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. Black man, Native American man, and Hispanic man, wouldn't you like to be like that? Wouldn't you like to loan to many nations and never borrow? Wouldn't it be good to not have to seek out a loan to build a house, to buy a car, to go to school, but be the one to give loans because your brother and sister owns real estate. Your brothers and sisters own all the car factories. Your brothers and sisters own everything. Wouldn't that be great? That's how the Lord said it would be. Right now, we can't even loan a brother. The Lord said we don't loan anybody nothing. We can't loan a brother $2. Some of us. Some of us can't loan a brother $40. You get my point. We're not loaning nobody nothing, let alone enough money to buy a home, put children through school, build schools, build industries. You understand? Let's see. Verse 13, and the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail. Wouldn't it be good to be the head and not the tail? To get first choice of everything? To be top, to be on top and not at the bottom? And if we would just keep the Lord's commandments, who's more deserving of it than you, Israel? Because nobody is kinder than the Israelites. Nobody is kinder than so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. You think Edomites are kinder than you? The Lord said their words are softer than butter, or sweeter than butter, but in their heart is war. You think because they make these little commercials with the dog on there, and then they had a little music playing, you think these people are kinder than you, Israel? They're not. These people are made to be the deceivers in the earth. And why? Because we don't keep the Lord's commandments. I'm going to continue the video in a second. Last scripture. No, verse 14. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day. Well, it's crazy that that pastors don't read this and understand. The Lord said, thou shalt not go aside from any words which I command thee this day. This is the Lord God Almighty, the Most High, that gave us this law straight from the heavens. You did? And your pastor don't want to read them. He don't want to learn them so that he can teach them and we can live them and be on high. but you want to be a servant unto your enemies. Well, that time is over here in ISUPK. We're not affiliated with any Christian group and no Israelite groups. And Salakia for me not mentioning that a minute ago. You understand? The ISUPK is where the Lord put his spirit in 1969. You understand? And the Lord he didn't change his mind concerning that. The Lord put his spirit here. The Lord put the 12 tribes chart here, which brothers is imitating and then trying to change up. You understand? The Lord put the Hebrew here. You understand? The Lord put his spirit. He put true leaders. He put priests and prophets here. And that's what's going on. Come out of them churches, Israel. Oh, the rest of 14. And well, let me start off. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. As much we could say on that, I'm gonna save a piece of that for later. To go after these other gods, to seek their love. You understand? We're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to have any covenants with these other nations. All right, let's keep going.
According to a new national poll by the New York Times and CBS News, the American dream is alive, if not entirely well. If that sounds contradictory, well, it is. On a sunny spring day, we asked some people in New York City for their impressions of the American dream.
I think for me, the American dream is just to have a great family and a great home on the beach somewhere and just have enough means to support myself and my family. I want to become a lawyer and then I want to
Okay, well, hold up. Let's listen to her a little bit.
be a judge.
Well, I think it's being able to have
This is
the
for
opportunity
educational
to,
purposes.
meet your dreams, achieve whatever success or however far you want to go in life.
But achieving it is another thing.
I still got a little work to do. I think we all do. I don't think we ever really stop.
I definitely do not think I've achieved that yet.
Less than half of the people in the Times CBS poll said they had achieved their dream. And even for people here in affluent Midtown Manhattan, the longtime dream of upward mobility can be elusive.
When I was growing up in nearby Patterson, an old industrial town, the American dream was that whatever your origins, that if you worked very hard and if you were a little bit lucky, that things would be fine for you and better for your children. It was palpably available to people, and now it's just not.
It was about hope, like you could build towards the future. You'd save a little bit each year, and by the end, you have enough for retirement. You could raise a family, you could put your kids to school, you take a vacation, take care of your elderly parents. And the last couple of years, it seems to be like up in smoke or up in credit default.
Now, in comparison to what the Lord just promised us, how does this sound? Does this sound like something that we really want to be a part of? He said, trying to save for the future and retirement, building up your family. Of course, everybody wants their family to be fine. You understand? And kids in school, all of this is up in smoke because this place is about to be destroyed. We all know that because of the scriptures. But our brothers and sisters that are stuck in this place do not realize that the Lord is finna destroy this place. This is Babylon that the Lord spoke about in Revelations, the 18th chapter. You understand? But I'm going to go to Obadiah 2 through 4 right quick. Just a couple verses to touch on the future and retirement and these things that these people want to save up for. This is what the Lord said concerning this place here. Salakia. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, and thou art greatly despised. Do I need to read one? Yeah, let me read the first verse because we might have some people on here that have never heard this before. I know most of everybody in the chat has heard this. Obadiah, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus said the Lord God concerning Edom. Edom is Esau. You can go to Genesis 36:1 to prove that. So when you hear Esau, Christians like to say, oh, that's just one man that God hated. No, Esau is Edom, a whole people. And this is the vision concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. This place is about to go to war. It hasn't been infiltrated from the outside since its conception. So I believe it was Isaiah, they called it virgin, O virgin daughter of Babylon. That's this place. Verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. These people make you think that they have the predominance in the earth. They make you to think that they are the majority in the earth. But you so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, you know what the Lord said about you? That you are like the sand of the sea or the stars of the heaven. You understand? These people with their sorceries, their many sorceries, with their news networks, their Associated Press, with their communications, with their sorceries, have you think that they are more powerful than they really are. They are spread thin, and they are not aware of what the Lord has said concerning them. Now, some of them know, but they don't understand this place is about to be destroyed. And it's our duty as priests and officers to teach this, to tell this, to go out in the streets and teach our brothers and sisters this. Because our wish is that all Israel would be saved. Let me read on. Verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Every nation in this earth despises the so-called white man. It just is what it is. Every nationality, from the Arabs who they have done dirty and swindled out of oil and deals, to the Afghanis, to where they were defeated at, both the Russians and the Americans over there in the mountains in Afghanistan. The Chinese forget about it ever since the Opium Wars and those things. Who else? The Indians, they hadn't forgot. When I say Indians, I'm talking about the East Indians. They hadn't forgot the days that the British ruled over them. Matter of fact, the British still got some of those huge diamonds and stones that come from over there. That was in the Queen's crown. But they're gonna have to give all that up. All that belongs to the Lord. All of it belongs to the Lord. This earth and the fullness thereof belongs to the Lord. And this man's time is finished. You understand? Let me keep reading. Verse 3, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee. So you think you finna save for your 401k? You think your children are gonna be living fat in this earth continuously and build these cities up, continue to build cities? It's not so. It's not going to happen. Our people need to understand that and come out of the American dream. Let me keep reading. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, even unto this day. You know, they came out of Mount Seir first. You get time, go look up Mount Seir and see where they first were at. Then they come from the Caucasus Mountains, the clefts of the rock, and now in the skyscrapers, concrete rock, concrete jungles, concrete buildings, overlooking everybody else in the earth. You understand? Whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? These people think that the Lord never going to bring them down. They forgot about Egypt. They forgot how the Lord brought down Egypt. Let me continue reading. Last verse. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, with your space travel and your space station and your Elon Musk X rockets, you set your nest among the stars. Nobody else doing that. And if they are, they're trying to imitate you. The Africans ain't doing that. The Arabs ain't doing that. They might be trying it now, but you started that. Talking about you going to the moon. These prophecies are real. The Lord said, "Thence will I bring thee down," saith the Lord. The Lord said He's going to bring these people down. So there is no retirement funds, no hedge funds, no 401k funds, no banks and diamond districts. None of these things are in your future. You understand? I'll continue to read. Continue with the rest of this video.
Here's something kind of puzzling. The nation is in a recession, but the polls showed that more people think they've achieved the American dream now than had 4 years ago. Why is that? Experts say that when times are hard, people shift their definition of the American dream. It becomes more about values like freedom and opportunity, and less about things like material success.
In my opinion, what the American dream.
And that's just really natural. When somebody else is controlling your economy and controlling what's coming in and out of your house, how much of it you can have, if they controlling it, then you have no other choice but to refrain from buying stuff and focusing on physical things. What choice do you have? You understand?
Is coming here from another country like me and just trying to achieve what you want. There's not so many boundaries, I think, as where I come from, not in Belgium. So for me, that's a lot of.
Okay, so this lady here said, coming from other countries, it's less boundaries here in America. She have more opportunities to do things. But you so-called Blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics that were born here are born next door south of the border. Why is it so difficult for you as a whole? I'm not talking about one or two people, one or two ball players, one or two soccer players, one or two people that go to school and become a doctor or a lawyer. I'm talking about your nation. These other races understand that they are exactly that. Racists are in races. They are in a race to be the greatest. Let's go to Revelation 18, 1 through 3 to address what she just said. It's the book of Revelations, chapter 18, verse 1 through 3. So instead of focusing on a dream and being in the same mindset as these people, trust in the Lord. Trust in the God Almighty Yahweh. Trust in our God, man. Revelations 18 and 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils. Devils are deceivers. Devils are those who had you in captivity. Devils are those that gave you Christianity. Devils are those that redline you. Devils are those that made black codes for you. Devils are those that made had the civil rights era going on, pretending to be your friend when all the time they wanted to suck money out of you and destroy your neighborhoods and your businesses. This place has become the habitation of devils. and the whole of every foul spirit. That foul spirit is the LGBTQ spirit. That foul spirit is the drug addict spirit. That foul spirit is that unaliving spirit in the boys in blue. Foul spirits, evil people, wicked, you understand? And a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. That's these coming over here resting in the leaves or resting in the branches of America. These other nations, they come over here. Every hateful and unclean bird. Kamala Harris, hateful and unclean bird. Rejoiced in locking our brothers up in the 80s, 90s, Salaki. Rejoiced in that. Did it with pleasure. You understand? She's not us. And I believe most of our people understand that, but we got to keep pushing. Keep pushing everything that's been on social media that she's not us. She's not us. She's not an Israelite. You understand? Verse 3. For all nations have drunk. All nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. All nations have sought to live off of so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics and never tell them who they are. And you know what's crazy? We have been in many other captivities. We've been in different captivities before, Israel has, but never has a people stripped us of our nationality to where we didn't know who we were. That has never happened except in this last kingdom, this last place here. And all nations are complicit with the scheme, pursuant to Psalms 83. If there's a pastor out there listening or somebody that's bold enough, go tell your pastor to read Psalms the 83rd chapter. And when he can't break it down, you call an Israelite school of universal and practical knowledge so that you can get the understanding. All nations are confederate against the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. And that just is what it is. Again, we're not bitter and mad, but our focus needs to be on the promises of the Lord and not the American dream. Let me read on. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. The abundance of the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics here that serve this place with rigor. These merchants are waxed rich, including Timu, including what's some of the other ones. All these people. Commanding General Yohana brought it out the other day about that ship stacked. Looked like it was stacked 10 stories high when it ran into the bridge in Baltimore. I don't even see how that thing floating, man. Imagine being on that all the way across the Pacific or going around the Horn. Oh, well, they don't go around the Horn of Chile no more. Now they cut through, was it Peru? You know what I'm talking about, down through there. They'll cut through them countries down through there. The Panama, Salakia. They'll cut through the Panama Canal. Can you imagine once you get through there with that ship and you got to float all the way across to Asia? Salakia. As the scriptures say, these merchants have waxed rich. All right, let me play this. This is for educational purposes.
Freedom, and that makes me happy.
And some people are already living the American dream because their parents achieved it for them.
But I guess for maybe a first generation immigrant.
All right, that's enough of that video. However, let's address that. Some people are already living the American dream. It says because their parents achieved it for them. Let's go back in the scriptures right quick. I'm gonna read through it, but these things are very relevant. Revelation 18:7 was going to describe how these people have lived deliciously. Revelations 18:7, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. So when you see the Statue of Liberty, that's exactly what these people think, that thing is going to stand forever. And they believe it represents their power and authority in this earth. And they think it's going to go on forever. It's our duty to pull our people out of that mind frame, out of the mind frame of the American dream, unto understanding the promises of our God for eternal life, so that we will always live and reign in this earth and never have another people reign over us. Let's read on. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. This place is going to be hit with thermonuclear war. You understand? And the plagues. You see how food is getting scarce? Man, this place is going to be it's going to be terrible. It's going to be something to behold. And the Lord said in Psalms 91, hey, it shall not even come near to us if we do what thus said the Lord. Won't have to worry about it. We'll only see them fall. We'll only see the destruction. You understand? That's what I hope for. That's my hope, to see that. Let me see. Now, let me continue on, because this individual right here said some have already obtained that dream, and they obtained it through their parents. Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Standing afar, verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is judgment come. So they'll see this place destroyed. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. So as far as all that money and stuff that these people have accumulated so that they can give their children's beautiful lives, which is what our desire is. We want to give our children beautiful lives. But the thing about it is, we can only obtain that through the promises of our God if we keep his commandments, if we keep what thus saith the Lord. I just want to read a few of the things that the Lord said made these people rich. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver, precious stones and of pearls, and fine linen, and purple and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and of iron, and of marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and the souls of men. Don't that sound like what the Lord said he would give us? All of these things belong to the children of God. You understand? That's the promise. The dream is over. And it was never for you so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics anyway. Dreams don't last. But the Lord's promises do. You understand? All right, that's it for this. Let me Let me skip over to this other video right quick, Bubba Shaw. Salakia. Remember, y'all, bear with me. I forgot how to do this. All right. Must be another way to do this. Salakia. Bear with me, Israel. I'm learning. Y'all right here with me. Bear with me. All right, let's get that over there. All right, let's see. All right. So, all right. So, let's go through this right quick.
I have a dream that one day
This is for educational purposes only. Let's get into it.
this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed.
It said this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. Bear with me. Salakia, Israel. Trying to get the hang of it. Bear with me. Bear with me, Israel. All right, so all right, let's just rock it out. Let's do a little bit of this. Educational purposes. Fair use.
No, we are not
Salakia, this ain't the
satisfied,
one.
and we will not be
Salakia, Israel.
satisfied.
Bear with me for a second. Salakia. This not even the one. So Shan. Something was wrong. There you go. All right. All right. Present. All right, let's get into it. I think I got it.
We face the difficulties of today and tomorrow. I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Okay, Salakia. So let me pause there right quick. He said that he hold these evidence that all people are created equal, right? He said that he wanted he's trusted in the creed of America. Well, let's just see what the Lord had to say, because our people admire this man, and pastors still admire this man. When this man is the one that sold us out. And the fact of the matter is, from my understanding, there were brothers that had fought in World War I, World War II, and many other brothers that stood against integrating. Why would you let somebody beat you down so that you can go and patronize their restaurants or their businesses? It makes no sense at all. And it just shows you how a charismatic individual can mislead our people. Our people truly are sheep. You understand? Our people truly are sheep and get misled. So let me read this right quick, because he said that all men are created equal. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6 through 8, right quick. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. How can you be a holy people or set apart people and you joining other nations of people? The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above, not equal to, not searching out secret civil rights, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Verse 7, the Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any other people, but for ye were the fewest of all people. So at that time, the Lord just brought us out of Egypt when he chose us. We're a new nation. When we went into Egypt, 12 souls, and came out hundreds of thousands. You understand? So the Lord didn't chose us because of that, but because of the promises that he made to Abraham. The Lord chose us. You understand? Let me let it play out.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream.
All right. And Salakia Israel, bear with me for a second. Trying to get off some mother bar in here. Bear with me for a second. Bear with me. Shalom, Lord Christ, everyone. Come, I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to send it to right now. All right, Shalom, Lord Christ. Salaki Israel, give me 1 second. I'll be right at you, right with you. No, you can have, because I sent it to, well, damn, I probably do got to send it to you. Give it to me right quick. All right, come. All right, where we at? Let's see. Yeah, I guess, and I kind of missed that, so Salakia for that. But then he said the sons of former slaves and slave owners will be able to sit down at the table of brotherhood. Salakia. Hold on, Israel. All right, there we go. Yeah, but he said the sons of slaves and former slave owners will be able to sit down at the table of brotherhood. Let's jump back over here to Obadiah right quick. Starting at verse 10. It's the book of Obadiah, verse 10. Since Martin Luther King said that his dream, he see little black girls and little white girls and little black boys and little white boys holding hands together. And that the former slave owner will sit down with the former slave. You understand, at a table. You understand? I guess it's going to be some kind of camaraderie or friendship, which is bizarre. So understand, the Lord said in the book of Obadiah, chapter 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. And that shame is when you tell him to his face. When you out there, when the ISUPK is out there on the streets and telling these people, man, these people understand what they have done, but they don't want to face the consequences of it. They don't really want to think about it. You understand? Like what is that they have in school? critical race theory. They don't want you teaching that because they don't want races to be. They don't want people tell the Shalom. How about Shemia Shabbat? What's going on, Officer Matabar?
What's going
What's up,
on?
Bhagwan?
Ain't nothing much.
Oh, everything to wild, man. We talking about the promises of the Lord versus the American dream. And we got into a couple of videos, man, and chopped them videos up a little bit. But right now we talking about how Obadiah prophesied against Edom and said, because of the violence against thy brother Jacob, you understand, shame shall cover him. And we did the last video we just watched was Martin Luther King said he had a dream that that the slave owner, former slave owner, and former slaves gonna sit down together at a table. Hand in hand, brother. You understand? And our people, man, we just gotta understand that's not what the Lord wants for us. That's not what the Lord meant for us. The Lord didn't mean for us to be at the table with our enemy doing nothing. He said, don't make covenants with them, period.
Right, because you can see that dream he had, that ain't came true yet. We still at odds with each other. We still at war with each other. They still murdering, killing us. Ain't no hand uniting with the other hand. Ain't no peace came yet. You did all this marching since way back since Martin Luther King time, before him, marching, running around, begging for your life to not get taken. Like, how you gonna beg the enemy to not kill you? How you gonna beg? You gotta beg for your life to not be taken. You gotta beg to be equal to somebody when you above them, like the Lord say. What you begging for, and you still getting scraps. You still the highest murder rate. You still the highest incarceration in jail, and the lowest paid on your job. So what you begging for? Begging ain't gonna change nothing. They don't care about you, and they gonna keep, the Lord gonna make sure they keep showing you year after year after year until you return to him and stop begging your enemy for love. Like, what your enemy gonna do for you? Your enemy been tricking and murdering and killing our people since they took over this land.
Right.
So you think they just gonna have a change of heart? Oh, let's finally stop killing and be peaceful. They peace come with war and taking over. That's what they peace come with. They peace is that weapon to your head. That peace.
Come. Yeah, and so like our people have not figured that out yet. They're still following behind the pastor looking for some religious experience. You understand? Or some religious justification to build themselves up. When the Lord, that's what we started out at in Deuteronomy 28 chapter, the blessings. When the Lord said he won't give us everything if we do what he said to do. And it's a shame that we can't get our own brothers and sisters to learn it, let alone to teach it. The pastors don't want to teach it. You understand? They don't want to humble themselves and learn all over again what thus said the Lord. They rather bootlick their enemies, who the Lord said is a perpetual enemy.
Right. They rather hate their own people and love their enemies. You can follow orders when your enemy say it, but you can't follow nothing when it's your own people. You're against your own people. Go to work every day, punching on time, be on time, everything. And when your own people are trying to get an organization going, something right, something happening, oh, you don't want to listen to this Negro. He another Negro like you. Yeah, he in depression like you. He in hell like you. Why y'all don't come together and form together? But you'll run do what Master say. Because Master write a paycheck. This brother broke like you. He in misery like you. Y'all struggling together, but that mean you'll prostitute yourself for those trinkets, for those crumbs, for that money to go against your own people and hate your own people.
Come on. You know, the scriptures talk about, what's that? Psalms 37 and 16. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. It's good just to have peace, man, and to be able to network amongst one another. You know what I'm saying? I know, like, for instance, back in the 40s and 50s, when we did have our own, what they call Negro leagues, the ballparks weren't as nice, but the vibe was much better. The peace and the brotherhood was much better. You understand? I remember even far back as like the 70s when I was a little fella. I can remember the vibe of brothers and sisters in our neighborhood, in the neighborhood that we was in, where the brother owned the meat market down the road. You know what I'm saying? And you go to the stores, the different little barbershop stores, go in there and buy stuff. I remember the vibe of it. Just our own people. And that peace, man, is greater than chasing the riches of the dream of America, which is never meant for so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. It's just not for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like even when we was growing up, you was taught young. Don't you bring that oppressor girl home. You was taught that young. How many parents said that? You better not come home with that oppressor girl.
Come.
They even knew to stay away from them. But look at this new age. Look at the sellouts throughout our history. They didn't get that message, and if they did, they ignored it because they were searching for what? They was searching for equality. They was begging. They was begging to be a part of they society. They didn't like their own skin. They didn't like their own struggle. We got to go through the struggle. We all under these curses.
Right.
You can't avoid this curse even when you going out trying to kiss the oppressor backside. You still gonna be under them curses. And now your curse even worse because now you labeled as the coon. You the sellout. You got the sellout curse on you.
Right.
And you did all that and you still could look back and see your people still oppressed. We still in the same boat that we was before you sold out. So what did you sell out for? For your own gain, for your own good, for you to suck up the master. Because you don't care about your people. And we see that with all the so-called leaders we got now. Way since Martin Luther King. Begging and begging and begging and begging. And up until this day, from his time to this day, we still #1 in jail, #1 dead, murdered, hating each other, killing each other. If you get with the oppressor, it's the same thing. Because he the one doing it to you.
Right.
He's supplying all these drugs and guns. He the one pulling you over, locking you up, gunning you down, shooting you in the head while you on the ground begging for your life. They don't care about us. We gotta care about us. We gotta love one another. That's what the Most High told us to do. Love one another. Stop having that hatred in your heart for each other. You don't hate your oppressor. You don't go through none of his neighborhoods robbing and shooting up his street.
Right.
You ain't killing them. We killing each other over what? Something that's gonna be here when we dead. The drug's still here. Over thousands, millions of us dead. The drug's still here. Would that change? Crime still here. The police still here. And we just died.
Come.
For nothing. Thinking you're gonna be the king of what world? Christ is the king of us.
Right.
Christ's kingdom ain't here. And you can't be king over this world because your oppressor is king of this world.
Right.
You can't go out and battle his army. They blow you up. One little missile. Boom. Blow up the whole street. So you ain't king of the hood. You ain't none of that. You got it. Yeah, come on.
Come on. And if I could, other one, even like again, I got to bring that up, man. And Megan Thee Stallion thing, going to the Democratic convention, shaking her ass on stage, embarrassing our people. Well, that's the same thing as a drug dealer would do. You understand?
Right.
That's the same thing as a bank robber would do. Hey, listen, people that embarrass their own people are shameful to our
And on top of what you saying is, that's the same thing a harlot do, a prostitute do. You go shake your butt for some money. So how is she any different? Because she got paid for doing what she did.
Right.
So you ain't no different. You're a harlot, you're a prostitute, you'll sell out your own people for money. That's what that show. You the stripper in the club shaking for. Don't think your oppressor ain't in the strip club. So that's all she doing. That ain't nothing to glorify. You selling out for some cash on there, having a twerk-a-thon. You got it.
Come. I'm gonna finish this scripture right here because we was talking about the oppressor and his fall. What was to come to him, and we just read. I'm gonna read it again, verse 10. Obadiah, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. After you get through serving, after he is through serving, like the brothers say, we'll be looking for him in a what you call it, brother, in a museum. You understand? Because he won't be anywhere. Be hard to find him somewhere. It'd be a rare, and one day he'll be completely gone. But he gotta serve. And like what I always like to say is, our people need somebody that's gonna be as merciless as he was merciless, because our people are kind. And I don't mean abused in the way that they abused us, sexual, or you know what I'm saying? SA. I don't mean the SA of people, but I'm talking about working to the bone. Work you vigorously. You're gonna work.
On top of that, they gonna really learn what it means to serve their country.
God.
It ain't gonna be no military army. They gonna learn how to serve their country for real.
Right.
You're gonna serve us. You're gonna do what need to be done. You're gonna build. You're gonna sweat. You're gonna be out there sweating and bleeding.
Come on.
You're gonna see what it feel like to be out there in that 115 degrees heat, working and slaving.
Damn right. And that's what thus said the Lord. You understand? Verse 11, in that day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. So while everybody was going into our land, when we were chased out of our land, when the Romans fled, when we fled from the Romans, everybody was rejoicing because of the fall of the Lord's people. And we had to go into captivity and serve ours. It's time for you to serve yours. It's coming. Your time is short. You know, you're going to cut up in this earth and you're going to destroy your own cities. The Lord already done prophesied it, and you are going to go into captivity. It's that Revelations 13 and 10 say that he leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the faith and the patience of the saints. And our people need to understand that they are the saints of the Lord. Our people, so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, need to come back to the Lord and understand that. Let me get a couple of scriptures. Let me go to, let me finish this out first. I'm not finished with this. The Lord said, but thou should have not looked on the day of the brother, hold on, Salaki, but thou shouldest have not looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of his distress. That verse 13, thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. These people stole everything from us. Not only that, even still, the Lord said, you should not have entered into his gate. Don't you know that's what they did during the civil rights era? Dealing with our weak leaders. They should have just left us alone and let us continue to grow. But they figured they couldn't do that. They got to hold somebody down. They hate to see somebody doing better than them. But they're not going to be able to stop this because this is of the Lord. This Israelite school of universal and practical knowledge, this of the Lord. It can't be stopped. It's going to continue to flourish. And the Lord said in Ezekiel the 37th chapter, we stood up an exceeding and great army. And that just is what it is. Ain't no stopping it. You know what I'm saying? You got something out of one? Verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So what do a pastor have to say concerning that? What you have to say concerning that, Christian? It says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Salakia. Verse 16. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so the same way they stood upon Israel as captives in captivity, so shall all the heathen drink continually. The same thing is going to happen to you. Ye shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Now, this Esau. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. So this is what the Lord is saying concerning us.
Right.
The Lord made promises to Israel. You said something out of one?
I said right.
The Lord made promises unto Israel. It behooves us to hold on to these promises and forget about the American dream. I want to go somewhere else. I was thinking about something else. This spurred a moment right here. Let me see. Let me go to Daniel right quick. Let's see what happened to Daniel. You know, Daniel was a righteous man. And Daniel had to go into captivity. Why? Because the Lord judged us as a nation of people. That's why we had to go into captivity. And Nebuchadnezzar the king, he built some statues. He had dreams. He consulted with Daniel about a couple of dreams and everything. But there's one thing in this story that reminds me of America. So I want to read it right quick. I'm gonna kind of flow through it. This is Daniel, the 3rd chapter, starting at verse 3. It said, Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Why is this important? Because the same way you got like Caesar Borgia and you got the American flag, these are things that are propped up before our people to make this nation seem like it's the ultimate. When we know the only ultimate kingdom is the kingdom of the Lord. It's the king, it's Christ's kingdom. And that's to come. And we can only obtain that by faith. And if anybody was listening, what came out in a couple classes concerning faith? The faith of Abraham. Anybody remember what the faith of Abraham was? Type that in the chat if you remember what the faith of Abraham was, and I'm going to continue reading right quick. Verse 2, then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Verse 3, then the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Verse 4, then an herald cried aloud. The herald is like an MC, a master of ceremony, the one that speaks forth in the in a ceremony, like a master of ceremonies, so to speak. It said, then a herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at the time when ye hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the suckbut, the psaltery, the dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye shall fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. Don't that sound like the American flag? How they want you to pledge allegiance to this flag? That's what that sounds like.
Right. And it also
go ahead.
And it also sounds like that Caesar Borgia picture.
Come.
Everybody bow down to it.
Come.
Everybody worship it.
Come.
Same thing they tried to do with that golden calf with Moses. And look what happened. What happened? We'll turn our back on our own God to worship something that's false.
Come.
You got it.
Come. So that's my point. Let's see what Daniel and the three brothers did. Let me jump down to I'm gonna start at 6 though. Now, and I'm gonna read 6 or 7. And whoso falleth not down and worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Verse 7. Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the suckbut, the psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshiped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Just like you said, Adawan, America is Babylon. It's the place of confusion. Many nations are here in this place, and all of them are required to bow down to Christianity. I don't care what nationality they are. I don't care what religious background they come from. They come for white supremacy, to worship white supremacy, and to live off of us. You understand? Verse 12, there were certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Verse 13, then Nebuchadnezzar in his rage and fury commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. So you all know the story. I'm not going to continue to read all of this, but the king threw them in the furnace. Why? Because these men stood up against the norm. They stood up against what nations and other kingdoms and all these other people bowed down to. They stood up against it. And you know the story. The Lord saved these men out of that tribulation, out of that furnace. That was a great honor, to the point to where we still talking about these brothers today. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. You got anything out of one?
Rolling with you.
All right, I'm gonna jump over here to
Confirm what? They didn't worship that false idol.
right.
They rather die for the Most High in Christ than worship a false idol. They rather die for their people than join another nation to worship their false idol, because they know what idolatry was. You got it. You got it.
Khan. This is the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. So why was these things written in Daniel? Why was the three Israelite brothers written about? For our learning, that we don't bow down to the American dream like those people back then were bowing down to Nebuchadnezzar's statue, to the dream he set forth to make his kingdom look so great. When our king is Christ, Yahushua is our king. And that's who we're going to serve and worship. So let's focus on the promises of our God, you understand, rather than this American dream. He says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience, because the kingdom don't come with observation. It's not made and built in one day or overnight. You see how Commander General Yohana has endured over 40 years. You understand? And the generals under him and the captains and the officers, brothers come into this work and endure, and Commander General Yohana has held it down. You understand? And I appreciate him for that. Barakatah Yahweh Shah for that. You understand? That we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. The scriptures give us hope. Not thinking about how we gonna get a new loan so we can purchase a vehicle. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with having things. It's nothing wrong with that. But when that becomes your drive, rather than what the Lord said, when it becomes your drive to accomplish in America, to have the American dream, when that's what you thrive for, then your allegiance is misplaced. Your allegiance is to be to your God and to your nation, Israel, and not to any else. You blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, come back to Yahweh, your God. Verse 5, now the God of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded one toward another according to Yahushua Mashiach. The Lord is the God of, it said, patience and consolation. That's where our comfort come from. The comfort come from the Lord, the brotherhood that we've been given example of through Commander General Yohana. That's the comfort. That's the consolation. That's the payment. That's the patience. That's what we look for. Nobody said what the faith of Abraham was, but the faith of Abraham was to leave his country, his father, the gods that he could see, to follow a God that invisible, nobody could see. That was the first time it had been done. That was the faith of Abraham. Like I think it's over there in Hebrews. It is in Hebrews where the scriptures say, and Moses endured, and I'm paraphrasing, and Moses endured as having not seen, and Moses endured as if he was seeing the living God. I'm paraphrasing. So Moses did everything just like the Lord was right there, day and night with him. That's how he endured. You understand? I'm almost finished. Let's see. A couple more scriptures. Verse 6. This is Romans 15:6. That ye may with one mind and one mouth glorify even the Father of our Lord, Yahushua Mashiach. There go that one mind again. How you one mind and you in another Hebrew Israelite group that's a break off from a break off. How you one mind and you are a Christian that used to be a Catholic, but now you a Baptist, or you a Baptist, or you Presbyterian, or you non-denominational. How you one mind, one mouth? When the Lord put his spirit in the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge in 1969. How you one mind and you not a part of that? Got to get your mind right. Verse 7, Salaki. Wherefore receive ye one another, as Yahushua also received us to the glory of the Lord. Verse 8. Now I say that Yahushua Mashiach was a minister of the circumcision for the truth of God, to confirm the promises made unto the Father. So the Lord gave Yahushua for a confirmation to those that were still left in Jerusalem. And right now we all are Gentiles, because none of us grew up in this truth. You understand? Last verse, verse 9, and that the Gentiles, who is us, might glorify God for his mercy. The Lord saved us out of all kind of madness, out of this world. And I pray the Lord save all of Israel. I pray you brothers, you so-called Hispanics, Native Americans, and so-called blacks, understand this truth. Come out of Christianity. Stop chasing the American dream. It's fine to have things, but don't chase that. Don't make that your God. Don't make that why you live. Don't make that why you get up and breathe and move and have your being. But enjoy your nation, the nation of Israel. Come and understand this truth with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. The rest of verse 9, as it is written, for this cause I will confess to thee among the Gentiles and sing unto thy name. So with that, you got anything out of one?
That was a good class. That was perfect, man.
Most High in Christ, out of one. Most High in Christ. Well, the water for you coming in, rocking out with me, out of one. And I'd like to say the water to everybody in the chat. You understand? Also, Kawan will be holding down the Sabbath service Saturday. You understand? And Captain Kahan Thamyad is doing the Brotherhood on Thursdays. You dig? And I'm going to be holding down these classes. I think also Yasad will be in here with me from time to time. So, again, the water for y'all rocking out with me. I'd like to say Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabaraka Thumb unto my brothers. Yahweh Shema Thumb Bashim Yahweh Shah to the sisters. Kwam Yashala.
Yashala. Y'all make sure y'all pay y'all tithes and like and subscribe to our channel. Let's share this channel all over so we can get some more subscribers, some more likes. Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.